Welcome, folks. I am Jaby Koay, joined by Achara KIRK.
Hello.
She has no idea what this video is about, but she did see some controllers here, and she had a little bit of a clue. I'm gonna have her hold those up, make sure the camera can see it. And so there's a very obvious reason to many of you why I've got the two of these controllers here, and that is because the PS5 controller was revealed. Someone on Twitter remarked about how these two controllers basically were combined to make this the new PS5 controller. So this is the first time you're seeing it. I saw this earlier today. You don't seem very impressed.
No.
Okay.
I mean, it just looks, it looks the same.
Doesn't it look like these two controllers combined?
Oh yeah, it's like they had a baby.
Yes, that's exactly what I thought. You can see the evolution right there from the PS4 controller to the PS5 controller. The grips look similar to the Xbox One controller. I actually like the feel of the Xbox One controller, and so I'm actually happy about them changing the grip. I don't necessarily mind the attempt to update it to make it new. I mean, this has largely been the same design for several generations now, and I mean, it's just been basically this. They attempted at one point to change the design, I think for the PS3, if I'm not mistaken. Or was it the PS3 or the PS4? I think it was the PS3 where it had like, you remember Nintendo 64, how it had the long thing?
Oh, the...
Yeah, I don't have it back there. I thought I had it back there. But it had basically long arms, or long handles, I should say. So you could hold it three different ways. And they scrapped that in favor of something that looked basically like this. The one thing that bothers me about this controller is that the pad is still unchanged. Now, if you're someone who likes to play Street Fighter or Tekken or whatever, and you're moving that around, it can blister after a while. I feel like it hurts more to play on this than on like a Nintendo controller or a Xbox controller with a regular pad. So let's scroll down a little bit more to see what other photos they got here.
I think it looks like a sexy robot.
These buttons in the back, they lessened the hook of the R2 button and the L2 button. I love the way the Xbox, if you guys can see me, I like the way the triggers are hooked here because it gives you a real easy sense for your brain, like tactile response of which button you're touching, right? Because you know that these are buttons and these are triggers. And you know that this is, these are the L1, R1, and this is L2 and R2 respectively. It's easy to find it for without having to look down at it.
Yeah.
Whereas with this, I feel like, I mean, it looks so subtle, but I feel like you're gonna more easily get confused. Unless the controller's taller. It looks like it's about the same height as this one. Let me go switch back to the other view. Maybe a little bit. Maybe it's a little fatter. So maybe in that sense, your fingers will find the buttons without any problems. I think that the clear button look of the clear button look that they got going on, I think that's pretty sexy. You can't tell from here because like these are printed right onto the buttons, right?
Yeah.
On this other angle here, you can see that it's not painted on. It's like it's a clear plastic thing.
Okay.
And I think that's kind of sexy. I'm into that.
I think it looks nice. It looks sleek.
It's definitely got a futuristic look to it, which is what they're aiming for. We still don't know what the PlayStation 5 looks like. They're holding out in order to keep hyping it up. But
it's like that robot from WALL-E, Eva.
Now, one thing they also changed, I'm just noticing now, is the light. See, now the PS4 controller, it had this big beaming light here, and as you can see, I taped over it because I hated it. Any light sources that are very beaming, it annoys the crap out of me. I put tape over this one. Well, it's all just blown out white, but you can't tell. But I put white electric tape over the controller to mitigate the amount of light coming from the controller. I chose white in order to blend in with the controller, obviously. And then this one, I did the same thing. I put white electric tape over the back of it to cut out that beaming light, because even in the PlayStation menu thing, when I hit turn it down, it's still super bright, it reflects off my TV, it just bugs the crap out of me, I hate it. I'm glad they got rid of it. With the updated PS4 controllers, they added a little tiny light right here, which is super annoying. I'm like, so now I can't hide from it. Like, there's just nothing I can do. And they're doing a similar thing here with this controller, where you just can't hide from it. It's in there. Look at that. Hopefully it's not that bad. Hopefully it's done in a tasteful manner, where it's not like bouncing off your TV. Because I had a plasma television for the longest time. Now I have an OLED television. But it's still like, any light source coming from your side is going to reflect, and it's distracting for me. Anyway, I'm a little bit neurotic, as you can probably tell.
It's sleeker, it's a little bit more curvy. Yeah. It's sexy. She's sexy,
It almost reminds me Truth be told, it almost reminds me of one of those off-brand PlayStation controllers that you can pick up from Target or, some store for cheaper. Like the PlayStation controller's $50, $60. You can get this one for $30 because it's made by Gamers R Us.
Right.
Or some off-brand thing. I forget what the name of the other companies are because I never really buy those controllers. I stopped doing that in the GameCube days. I think that this could be cool. I can't tell if it looks cool and futuristic or cheap and off-brand. It's somewhere in between. And it's simply because it looks like a combination of these two controllers. It's like these two things had a baby. And it might be the best thing ever. It might be the best controller ever made.
Just hoping.
I'm sure they go through a lot of R&D in order to find out what is the most nice, you'd hope, what is the nicest grip and comfortable thing for the maximum amount of people. I don't have no idea if they're doing all these tests in Japan. A large part of the population over there might have different size hands than people here in the States. Mm-hmm. I have large hands. And so, this Xbox controller feels very, very nice in my hands. Whereas this one, it's nice, but it just, sometimes my thumbs knock into each other if I'm playing like Kevin Spacey in House of Cards. He's a terrible example of game playing in movies, right? Or shows. Like every time they show people playing games in movies, they're always doing like this. That's not how you play Call of Duty. That's it. Those are my feelings. How do you guys feel? Let us know in the comments below what your thoughts are on the new PS5 controller. It's exciting to get anything. All this new tech stuff regarding the next generation consoles is quite exciting. I heard that the Xbox launch might get delayed. So, yeah. Thanks for hanging out. I'm Jaby Koay. This is
Achara KIRK.
Peace out.